Now, the topic for today is about understanding the need for the test, measurement, and evaluation in physical education. If how to see it in a very academic perspective. If you ask the question to me, I always suggest that we should see it from three different perspectives. What are the three different perspectives? Is we should see this need for test, measurement, evaluation from the student perspective, from the teacher's perspective, as well as from the program's perspective. Look from the student perspective. If we ask a question that why, what is the need for this test, measurement, evaluation for students, how students going to benefit? Some people say that it is beneficial for teachers, some people say it is beneficial for the development or the redesigning of the program, but it is also benefit for the student, because if there is appropriate test being applied at appropriate time, at appropriate frequencies, it will be a big time motivation for the athlete to continue with that activity. It will be also be a mode of self appraisal for of their own performance, and surely it will help you in setting up new goals for your performance enhancement. Many of the times, dear students, it has been observed, many of the time it has been observed that students lose that motivation because they think, they believe that they are not doing good, but actually they are good, because the test was not conducted, or if it was conducted, it was not conducted appropriately, due to which dropouts can be seen. Most of the time, due to the lack of the test, a athlete is not able to assess his or her own ability and performance, like the example which we discussed about the athlete who was not aware about his potential or her potential before the athlete went for a, by mistake, by chance, went for a test of an explosive nature test. Then that one test made the athlete rethink of accepting the new challenges, which is very, very essential and important. So, surely the need for test, measurement, evaluation is there from the student perspective in terms of keeping that motivation and self appraisal, and for building up, helping up the child for the goal setting. Yeah. And because, see, dear students, most of the time we need to understand, when you get into the profession, you will be investing lot of time, energy, and money, and various other resources into the training of athletes. After spending a good amount of time, energy, money, resources with the athlete, it's very challenging to lose an athlete just because the child lost the motivation. And this is one of the very common reason. What happened? Why the child is not coming? The child is lost interest. Why the child lost interest? Because the motivation was lacking, because there was no adequate feedbacks. And if at all there were feedbacks, they were not constructive feedbacks. Why it was not constructive feedbacks? Because adequate tests were not conducted, scores are not available, evaluations not been provided. If at all evaluation were provided, they were not constructive in nature. But yes, along with the student perspective, another important dimension which need to be seen is from the teacher perspective. Now think about what can be the teacher's.
Sir, your voice is not audible.
So not audible, sir.
Sorry, there was a internet connection, I think so. Yeah. So it's all about discussing the teacher's perspective. The need for test, measurement, and evaluation from the teacher's perspective. If you see that, Is again that there is lot of importance for the coaches, like the on the answer, the response which you gave a little bit, wherein the teacher was not aware. The teacher thinks that he is the best in the world and he is doing all the efforts, but actually, because feedbacks have not been taken, feedbacks have never been received. So, what is the whole problem? Feedback here, when we take feedback, feedback is a test. Because test has not been conducted, or a feedback in the process of feedback has not been conducted, teacher is not able to evaluate himself or herself, isn't it? This is one of the very important aspects for which tests should be conducted, measurement should be taken, evaluation should happen at regular interval. This test measurement process helps in diagnosing the problem, that where is the problem, is teacher connecting in a right way, is teacher not making a mistake which could have been corrected but it due to unawareness. See, I as a teacher, I believe that, oh, I am the best and whatever I am delivering is ultimate and the best in the world. But have I ever asked the student what they feel about it? Okay, I can share examples what comes with the difference, because there is a question how to reduce the gap. You said, you responded that feedbacks are important. A teacher delivers in a very fantastic way with a ample amount of information and knowledges, but student says that this methodology we don't understand. Student may come up, athlete may come up, we don't understand the language. The student may come up with a feedback that we don't like the process. Student may come up with that the contents are good, teacher is knowledgeable, but the way he punishes us is not, we don't like it. Student may say that teachers know everything, he is fantastic in teaching, but when assessment comes, we don't like it. Student may say that he is the best teacher in the world, he might be the best, but when it comes to the selection processes, and when we ask for some suggestions, we don't get the adequate response. So there are a lot of things which can be, there are a lot of problems which can be diagnosed with the help of testing. So any coach or any P professional working in this field should always go for regular feedbacks, and this feedback system or testing, regular testing is not only for the motivation and self appraisal or goal setting of the student, it is also equally important for the teacher. I think this week or last week, I have taken a feedback from you regarding my teaching. That what are you learning and something like that. It is important. It is not that I am going to show it to someone else. No, it is for me to work onto it. Where how should I? Because online teaching is a new mode for teachers like us also. We also need to diagnose the problem. So if we don't test it, we don't get it. Now, in a day or two, by today or tomorrow, you'll get another message from your program leader that you have to give the feedback on the program. That is post commencement feedbacks or pre-examination feedback. Again, those feedbacks is not to punish us. It is for us to evaluate the scores and bring the required changes what we are supposed to do it. So this is very important, and especially in sports. In sports, the biggest challenging is of grouping. There are a lot of tennis, football, cricket. A lot of sports are there in academies, the institutions, sports institutions. Groupings are done. That intermediate, beginner, advanced, and various other groupings are being done. And how they do it? Okay, he has been playing for 1 year. Put him, transfer it to intermediate. Oh, he has been practicing here for 3 years. Put him into advanced. Oh, he has recently joined. Put him into the beginners group. That setting of this on the basis of the duration may be wrong. A very good athlete may be playing in an intermediate. He should have been placed to the not advanced, at least if not advanced, at least to the intermediate instead of beginners group. So a talented player may have joined early, newly, but after some time he need to be promoted. But how did you select? How did you find? How do you predict? How did you place? How did you group? What is the logic behind it? You are saying the parent is saying he is good. The previous coach may be saying he is good. You may think that he is good, but did you do the testing? He may be very good in one component. That is, you may have find him highly fit, but when it comes to the precision of the skill, he may be still a beginner only. Parent may say that, see, there may be none in the academy who is as fit as him, and still you have placed him in the beginners group. But yes, with the test scores, you can come. Okay, he's good in fitness. Even in fitness, what you see is the endurance. But this game require other components. He is falling short. And apart from fitness, the major agenda is skill, and this grouping is divided not on the fitness parameter, it is based on the skill parameter. And if on the skill parameter, the test says that he still need time to be working out in the beginners group before being placed to the intermediate group. So this is important. Predictions. There are a lot of you will come up in statistics and various other subjects about predicting the performance. That when will this child can attain this X level? How much time period may be required to reach the Y level? But yes, the predictions can be done through the scores. Through the scores, through a lot of statistical analysis, some predictions can be done. But when and how will you get those scores? You haven't ever done a test. You haven't ever conducted a test. You go nowadays in most of the academies, most of the centers, sports centers, most of the team, regular monitoring means regular assessments are done of the athlete on various parameters. And those parameters are very, very essential. And all these are just not for the teachers, as I said, or not confined to the students, as I just mentioned earlier. These are also important. The need for the test measurement evaluation is also important for, and it should be seen from these three different perspectives. That is, it should be seen from the student perspective, it should be seen from the teacher's perspective, as well as it should be seen from the program perspective. Yeah, so that was the end of today's session. The house is open for discussion. Anyone wants to ask anything, please do not hesitate to ask.